Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. This is Kind of Media. We are your host. My name is Ocean Simeona.
I'm Taylor Vieira.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is not Wednesday, but we are talking about Wednesday, the newest original series from Netflix. This series stars Jenna Ortega, and I don't remember who the parents' names are, or any of the other cast. So,
we got like Catherine Zeta-Jones.
yeah. What's the father's name?
Luis Guzman.
He's like one of those actors that is
Luis Guzman.
Is super
funny,
super recognizable. Like when you see him, you know you've seen him from something before, but you can never remember like what you've seen him from or what his name is.
I think those, especially the parents are definitely like the well-known actors.
Yeah,
there's some other known ones too, but
Catherine Zeta-Jones, she's from Zorro, right? Wasn't she the?
She's in a lot of stuff.
Zorro, I think so. I don't know, but yeah,
she's she's biggest star in this actually.
But this is it's sorry. I don't. Is it directed by Tim Burton, or is it just from Tim Burton's?
He's I think he's a producer.
He's a producer level,
but it is heavily influenced by
Tim Burton. And obviously everybody knows who Tim Burton is. So this show focuses on one member of the Addams family, the daughter named Wednesday, and it follows her along some of her journey. So we're going to give you guys our take. And you guys know that I'm not a scary movie person or like just anything on that spectrum. And the Addams family definitely falls towards that spectrum. It's not a horror,
it's comedy,
I would say.
Yeah.
But the Addams family specifically is not. But it leans that way, and so it's just not my thing. Like I'm not a huge fan of Nightmare Before Christmas or any of that stuff. Like I just don't fall that direction. However, Taylor didn't even have to ask me to watch this. I ended up watching it on my own. I saw a couple clips on Instagram and stuff, and the clips that I saw were really intriguing. So me and my wife decided to watch it. So we're going to bring to you guys our take, traditional fashion, spoiler free first. And then we'll get into some scores and finish off with spoilers. So spoiler free first right now, Taylor, how did you feel after the ending of season 1 of Wednesday?
I gotta say, one, I am surprised that you've watched this solo. I'm glad you did, though. Because I've actually been waiting for this to come out. Because this show was announced.
Know it was happening.
Yeah, I was waiting for this show to come out. And then, because I was busy with work, it just, one day I was like, oh, it's out. I was like, oh, sweet.
Yeah.
And so I just started watching it slowly. I didn't watch it as fast as I would like to. Because I enjoyed the show a lot. I was actually like very surprised, especially because of a lot of the similarities, I guess, this has, and like references to things.
Sure.
But this is all me. Like I love this kind of stuff. I love Tim Burton stuff, especially Nightmare Before Christmas is literally my favorite Disney movie.
This is definitely up your alley. Like this is definitely right along your preferred stuff.
And this show does a great job with all of the content.
I'm glad to hear that. And I think you'd be happy to know that I really, really enjoyed the series as well. In fact, I believe it only took 2 watching sessions to finish it. I think me and my wife watched 4 episodes or 5 episodes on one day, and then
that's
the
good.
other 3
I
or 4
actually
on the
think,
other.
like, honestly, as a fan of it, that's probably the best way to view it is in like 2 sessions.
2 sessions, yeah. I would say so. I could have easily sat through the whole thing.
For sure.
It's just it was a
but I think as a perfect break,
but
4 episodes, then 4 episodes is actually really good, especially in the story.
Right. Yeah. I really enjoyed it. However, I will say that my feelings towards this series is similar to the original Hulu film titled Prey, in the fact that I really enjoyed 95% of it.
Yeah.
And then the last 5% was a little bit of a letdown for me. So we can talk about specifics, obviously, in the spoiler section, but
there's a lot of stuff.
I really enjoyed it. And this is outside of my typical comfort zone. Like, I heard about it when it first came out because it actually set a record for Netflix for the most hours watched by a English show in I think it's opening week.
Yeah.
I think it was opening week. So it surpassed Stranger Things season 4.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. What is that Korean freaking movie or show?
Which one?
The Squid Game.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure Squid Game still holds the title for most hours watched, but as far as an English show, Wednesday now holds the title. So I heard about that, and for the exact reason that I just said, I was like, it's not really up my alley, so I didn't really think to watch it. But then, as I said before, I saw a couple clips, and I was like, this is actually kind of interesting. And I ended up watching it, and I fell down that rabbit hole real quick. Yeah. So
good.
really enjoyed it. As far as the score goes, this might surprise you as well. I'm actually going to give this a 9. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was majority of the show was really solid and didn't really have any issues at all. In fact, there were a lot of times where I was like trying to pick out something. And I was trying to be picky and be like, but like I couldn't. Like there's a lot of the show I was like, like I don't really have anything negative to say, except for the end. So I'm gonna give it a 9. What is your score, Taylor?
Well, I do highly recommend the show. I'd be surprised if you weren't already watching it, but like for most people,
yeah.
I don't know why, but this feels hard for me to rate because there are things throughout it that I kind of like. I pick out stuff, and it's like I don't know if it really matters in the end, like little details that I notice, and it's just like, at least for this show, because it's so like comedy and like lighthearted,
sure.
Really. I guess it's just because of maybe inconsistencies with things, but I think I'll give this show an 8.
All right. I do think that part of my score is probably just completely fresh to the genre, I guess.
Yeah, just
I like you as a veteran watcher of this kind of stuff, you obviously are looking for other things and pick up on the smaller fighter things. So when I watch it from a different perspective, I don't yet see those things because I don't know that they're there. So maybe after our spoiler section, I might have a different opinion. But I really enjoyed it. Thought it was solid. Highly recommend for you guys.
Yeah,
give it a watch.
Great show.
Like Taylor said, I think it's a good, like if you can watch 4 and 4 or even 5 and 3. It's an 8-season episode, by the way. But check it out.
8-episode season.
What did I say?
8-season episode.
Shit. All right. Well, check it out. You'll enjoy it.
It's not super long though. Like each episode.
It's a quick watch. I think they're 45 minutes each, but it doesn't really feel that way. Like it moves quick. So, and it's enjoyable. Check it out. Have a good time. That's all I really got to say in the spoiler section or spoiler free section. So,
last thing I'll say before we get into spoilers. Sure. I know, like I have like little things here and there, but like I love the show and the way they do it, I think is very well, and it's open clearly for more seasons.
Yes,
and I welcome it.
Really hope that there's more seasons.
Yeah, and I feel like I don't know. This is a Netflix thing of like, oh, this did great. Nothing.
I'm never gonna give you any more of it.
Yeah. So hopefully they continue this one at least. I think it's a great show. So
yeah. I agree. But moving on, ladies and gentlemen, so we can talk about why this show was so great. This is your official
spoiler alert.
All right. Yeah. Wednesday's pretty dope. I'll be honest, I don't really know anything about the Addams Family. And obviously, like, she's a pre-established character, right? Like, she's from the Addams Family. So, like, but I don't know anything about her from I know I've watched the original Addams Family, but it was like so long ago, and the movie itself is so old that I just don't remember any of it.
Yeah.
So I don't like know if she's like staying true to character or anything like that, or whatnot, or any continuation from, because she was younger, right, in the original. She's older
Yeah.
in this than she was in the original stuff,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So yeah, I haven't rewatched it or anything, but how does her character in this series hold up to the established character of Wednesday from the original film? And there's something else, right? Between the like the old
Well, yeah,
Addams
because there's
Family,
movies and then there's a show.
there's a show.
Yeah.
Okay. So how does it hold up? How does her character hold up? Does
Jenna
it,
Ortega does an outstanding job as Wednesday in this show.
as far as acting and as far as character
Yeah,
development
both.
and
Yeah, both.
is-
As the
okay.
character and just acting in general.
All
She
right.
plays Wednesday perfectly.
That's
I
good.
mean,
That's good to hear.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there's nothing else
no.
to say that she literally just plays it perfectly.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is me trying to confirm my own thoughts, because in my head, I thought she nailed the character. I thought the acting was amazing.
yeah, she does a
and I
great
thought
job.
that the character itself was really good. But I just didn't know. Like I said, I don't know if she's staying true to character or if
Yeah,
this is new.
this is the exact same.
Awesome.
Plays it perfectly, and I don't know if you know, but this show actually has the original Wednesday actor in this. She plays a different character in this.
Well, yeah, she's a lot older now.
Yeah.
Right? I did not know that. Who did she
yeah.
play?
So she is I forget her
Is she a
first
major
name.
actor or a major character?
Yes.
Oh,
The original Wednesday actor plays.
Is it
where did she go? Maya Thornhill, I think.
oh, she's the teacher, right?
Yeah, she's like the normie
This girl.
teacher. Yeah, her. She's the
She's the
original,
original?
Wednesday. Yeah,
Wow, I did not know that.
from the movies.
Huh.
Marilyn Thornhill.
Interesting.
So yeah, she plays a teacher at the school.
Yeah. We're gonna come back to you. We have more to talk about.
Yeah, she's a big character.
Yeah, main. Now, yeah, I did not know that. That's really cool though. This series starts off and kind of like it's a funny and comical start off, but it also like just perfect, in my opinion, perfectly sets the tone for the rest of the season. Just everything about it. So we get her at high school with her younger brother. She is walking through the halls. Mm-hmm. She's goth. She's wearing, what she's wearing now, and everybody's like steers clears of her, doesn't talk to her, whatever. And then she gets to her locker and she opens it, and her brother falls out because somebody stuffed her brother into the locker, right? And we get a interaction between her and her brother where she basically just like calls him an idiot and blah 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 blah, and then she asks him who did this, and then the next scene that we get is her walking up to a pool where I guess some water polo guys are now jocks.
Well,
which by the way is not real.
So when she's talking to him, this is the very first time she has a vision. This is something that is very big and plays an important part throughout the entire series.
My bad, I forgot about that.
When she's talking to her brother's like, "No, it's okay. Don't worry about it. I don't remember who it was." So she grabs his hand, gets a vision, and then in her vision sees that it's a bunch of football players or whatever,
water polo,
or jocks that were
it's not football.
Of course, whatever, they're jocks and they're doing their things and they're bullying because that's the thing for some reason.
High school, man.
Yeah, it's just that time, And so she finds out who they are. Goes to the pool. Then we see the scene
where she releases 2 bags full of piranhas into the pool. So the reason why I think this sets the tone for the season perfectly is that, one, we establish who Wednesday is in relation to everyone else around her. Everybody sees her as this outcast, weird person, which admittedly, like in modern society, people that are goth, that's typically what they are. They're not really accepted as normal right now. So
it's not as exaggerated, I feel like, in this show.
Sure, yeah. I mean, she's not like she's exaggerated like herself, though.
Of course,
you know.
yeah.
So, and then we also get her. We also establish who she is in relation to her family and people that she cares about, because that also comes back to play very important later on during the season, that she doesn't show her affection very well, but she does care. And if you are somebody that she cares about, she will do whatever she can to protect you and take care of you.
Yep.
And then it also sets the tone that this show is going to be lighthearted and funny, but it also is not going to shy away from
a little touch of darkness.
yeah, just a hint of darkness, because not only does she release piranhas into the pool, but the piranhas actually attack one of the swimmers.
The main one that she was trying to
Yeah. And then later on we find out that he loses at least one testicle, which is funny, but not really. Yes. But, yeah. Well, don't bully, guys.
Yeah, don't be a bully.
Don't bully and you won't lose testicles.
It's simple.
But it like I said, it perfectly sets the tone. It's funny. It's going to be lighthearted. It's going to have some action in it, but it's also going to have a tinge of dark and a tinge of like, I don't want to say horror, but just horror-esque kind of
Yeah, I mean,
things.
it's horror themed.
And it shows you that if something does happen, they're not going to shy away from like specific details about it, right? Yeah. And we see that throughout the series, like for example, the farmer that crashes his truck and she's like, oh, his neck is snapped. They don't just leave it at that. They actually show the dude with his neck just.
Yeah.
So it just perfectly sets the tone for me, and I feel like after that initial scene, I was I don't want to say I was invested yet, but I was sucked into it because I was like, all right, I like a lot of these major things are established for me, whereas a lot of series and a lot of movies take a while to establish those kinds of things.
Yeah.
So I really liked that aspect of it, and that's kind of what just sucked me in there and just kept me in for the whole way.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Does in the original stuff, does Wednesday always have visions? Like, has that always been a part of her character?
I don't.
Has her mom always had visions?
I think her mom did. I don't remember Wednesday, but I don't know. It's been kind of a long time since I've seen any of that stuff. So
it's been at least a decade or more.
I don't remember Wednesday having the vision thing. I feel like that's a.
Well, she was also younger too, though. So maybe
that's why. Like I think it was. I think it was just the mom before, because which would make sense for now.
Right now, she's growing into her powers and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you look at this family. Like, if you've never watched the Addams Family, just looking at them, you can tell like they're
different.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's great. So. She gets transferred to a school called Nevermore, which is a school for outcasts. And this is where another really important thing for me personally happens as far as like storytelling goes. They begin to establish the confines of this world as far as like what
you can expect.
Yeah. Because like I don't like I'm coming. This perspective is coming from somebody that doesn't really know or remember anything about the Addams Family, and whether or not like just anything. So what they do is they establish that there's multiple like monster species and stuff, like, but they're not monsters necessarily. We would know them as monsters from our stories and stuff, but in this world they're just can be normal races. People. Yeah, it's like just different races of people. So there's vampires.
There's like vampires, werewolves, scorpions, all kinds of stuff, like wizards, witches, pretty much all the like
sirens.
Yeah, sirens. Anything that's like fantasy, folklore, like that kind of
monster stuff. You see it in here.
Yeah.
And so it was important for me to know that, and for them to.
Because on top of that, I mean, you see like Thing, right? Literally a hand,
a sentient hand. Yeah. So it's important for me personally that they establish all of these things really early, And just the way they do it, and the way that the story unfolds, they don't have to interject it anywhere. It's just a natural part of the
Right.
story, right? And that makes it a lot easier to, not easier, but it makes it better to swallow, comprehend, and accept for this world, and begins to shape the rules, of like what's possible, what could potentially happen, and all these things. And so, yeah, I really like that. Yeah, I don't know. I just like I have this really different perspective from you, I guess, because like for you, like you're watching this as with the idea of like, oh yeah, this is all just normal. Like,
Yeah.
like I knew all this stuff. Like, and then, so did you feel like the opposite of me? Did you feel like you were getting things re-explained to you and wasn't necessary?
No,
Or?
I actually think this is a perfect way to introduce new people into this kind of stuff.
To something that's already established.
Yeah, and it's funny to me because this show, like, especially because of what we just talked about, right?
Yeah.
Because that's even included with what I'm about to say. This show perfectly resembles Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of references, maybe not even references, but like,
Just direct correlations.
yeah,
and-
a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
Sometimes shot for shot from Harry Potter. And it's funny to me because I actually think Harry Potter is a little overrated. But this show, I think, does the very similar thing, but very well done. Now, I do really like Harry Potter as well. It's just
for how big it is. I've seen Harry Potter once.
Harry Potter's been around for a long time, right?
Yeah.
And I love Harry Potter, like Chamber of Secrets, Sorcerer's Stone, and like all the early movies. But then in the end, it's kind of, to me, I kind of lost interest. This show currently,
Has held you.
yeah, there's
Held
only
your
one
interest.
season, of course. I can't really say like it's better, but like it's very similar in the fact that early on, I really, really enjoyed because I think it perfectly resembles like you said, establishing the character of the world, the lore, the fantasy, all the things that can exist. And Nevermore is the Hogwarts. You have
Right.
this super cool looking old Gothic castle.
Yeah, Victorian era
Victorian
stuff,
kind of stuff. It's surrounded by woods and like it's in this near this town with a bunch of people that hate all these outcasts and stuff.
Right.
Even the uniforms that like
Are very
I wouldn't say it's similar to Hogwarts, but it's a I don't know if we have a picture of it. Probably not. But
This is the very
just-
top of the uniform.
yeah, it just mimics like the perfect thing like they do in Harry Potter, where it's like, these students, this is the school, these are the students, this is what they wear, and we're following, instead of Harry Potter, we're following Wednesday and
Right.
all of her friends and struggle.
Well, as she makes friends, as she
Right.
integrates into this society, and the things that come with that, because some people like her and most people don't, and then
Right.
eventually, like in Harry Potter, they begin to get won over.
Their main characters discovering themselves,
Right.
as well as developing like
Relationships
relationship with everybody.
and adventures and all
all
this
that
stuff.
stuff, which happens in Harry Potter, which I liked it like in the beginning. I'm gonna say like even probably like episodes 1 through 4 very heavily to me reminded me of Goblet of Fire specifically, which I loved.
Here's the thing. When you say the Goblet of Fire, I know that that's a Harry Potter movie, and I know that it's probably one of the early ones.
It's the third one.
But I don't like I've seen Harry Potter
actually, I lied,
once
it's the
all the way
fourth one.
through. So like
Yeah, it's the fourth movie,
sure.
unless I'm wrong. Pretty
No,
sure
I
it's the
don't
fourth
know.
movie.
You tell me it's the
Yeah.
8th movie, but I know there's only 7.
Yeah.
I'd still believe you.
Pretty sure. Chamber of Secrets, Sorcerer's Stone, Prisoner of Azkaban, Goblet of Fire.
I'm sure somebody in the comments will let us know.
You'll correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
Anyways,
I'm sure
that's the
somebody-
movie. I know for sure that's the movie I'm talking about, though.
Okay.
That it's relates to with those episodes. especially.
Is the Goblet of Fire when like Harry Potter gets saved by or like gets rescued by the Weasleys and ends up going to live with them and stuff. Is that Goblet of Fire? Or does that happen earlier?
Oh yes, actually it is.
That is
I
Goblet
think.
of Fire.
So the Goblet of Fire is the one that takes place with the big multi-school competition.
Shit, I don't even remember that.
Yeah, so like they invite, it's Hogwarts versus like an all-girl school versus the all-boy school that come to Hogwarts, and they perform in these different events for the Goblet of Fire, and then there's a whole bunch of stuff that happens.
What is no, never mind. This is not a Harry Potter
Yeah,
episode.
but anyways,
all right, I got you.
So-
it mimics Goblet of Fire.
yeah, with the Poe Cup in this show,
Sure.
which
is,
happens in like episodes 3 and 4, I think.
Yeah.
Which is what this is from. This just the fact that they, to me, have all these similarities, but it works so well is so great to me, because I just love that it's like a different
Execution of the same tactic.
similar thing.
Yeah.
Because like I said, technically it's not Tim Burton, but you can tell.
Oh,
that
it's
like
very heavily influenced by Tim
like
Burton.
everything
score,
from the
visuals.
score, the opening scene title and ending
Yeah.
sequence and credits, and like everything is very heavily influenced by Tim Burton, and it works so well.
Yeah. There's a reason why on the cover art, it has Tim Burton in big letters and very, very small letters that are hard to read, that it just says from the imagination of Tim Burton.
Yeah, even that shot right there, that cover,
Yeah.
that is absolutely a Tim Burton look right there. Like just the shot, the colors, the fonts, like everything.
100%. I 100% agree.
And it flows throughout the entire show, and it's great. I loved it.
Yeah. So let's dive into the story a little bit. She gets introduced to the school, and in the beginning she's an outcast, right?
Yeah.
And she meets her roommate,
Enid.
Enid.
And of course,
I wanted to say Ellis,
yeah,
but
of course, the exact opposite.
right, she has to be the exact opposite of Wednesday, which is funny, and it brings some funny moments. Enid is a werewolf. But she has yet to wolf out, which I guess is where werewolves come into their powers for the first time and transform for the first time.
That's just what they call it.
Yeah. But she is, like you said, the exact opposite of Wednesday, where Wednesday is all about.
As you can tell, they split the room 50-50. Wednesday pulls off all the colored
the stained glass and stuff. Yeah.
Stuff from the stained glass, and no decorations basically, except for some few items, and then complete color
Typical.
vomit, like
literally a vomit.
rainbow vomit, like.
And there is one small issue I have with this opening scene of her being introduced to her roommate. Not necessarily that, but just, and I get why they did it. But why does she get her own uniform? Why is she the only one that gets to wear an all black and gray uniform? I get why they did it, because it's part of the story or whatever, that Wednesday is.
It's just a Wednesday thing.
Yeah, I know, and I don't really have a problem with it. But if I'm trying to be nitty and picky and like,
it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense that a boarding school would just bend over backwards and create this one-of-a-kind uniform for one particular person just because their mother was an alum or their parents were alumni, like that. Because a lot of these kids' parents went to Nevermore. Like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, Wednesday's mom, Morticia, she kind of not just a random alumni student. Like she was like a we'll say famous student.
Yeah. Still don't think that
no,
a custom made uniform is warranted. But
it's literally just because Wednesday, because she would never go to the school. Literally, just because for one reason. Like that was the first thing was they wear uniforms, and it's like, I'm not wearing that, and so they have to make a special one just for, of course, all black.
Yeah, I was just this is just me being nitty and pitty, ladies and gentlemen. Ultimately, it doesn't really matter, and it does, as far as storytelling and visual aspect, it does actually help the story, because it just goes to further accentuate the fact that she is different from everybody else, and that she is one and only kind of thing. So, but I like
that happens multiple times throughout the show too. So
I don't know. That's only one of the only things that I could really think of to pick out about it in the beginning. Yeah. So, so they get along eventually, but then she ends up in a coffee shop and she meets this guy. Frick. Not Xavier.
No, this is not Xavier. This one is Tyler.
Tyler, jeez. I'm so bad with character names. I don't know why. I literally just finished watching this the other day. But this is Tyler. She meets him. He's working in a coffee shop.
I want to say to you, this is real minor. Even the names in this show, I feel like embody Tim Burton. You got Nevermore as the name of the school. This coffee shop, Weather Vane.
Yeah.
Like, it's like all, and you got like nightshades and like,
yeah,
you know, all the like dark kind of edgy stuff.
Just edgy. No, I would agree with you. I don't really know enough to agree with you, but I would agree with you.
I mean, it's just, you know, edgy.
But the reason why Tyler is important, ladies and gentlemen, because part of the story involves this triangle. And I don't want to call it a love triangle because
it's not. Yeah,
it's not actually a love triangle.
It's more like a Y.
That's actually really funny.
It's more a love Y.
Yeah, it's a love Y because
like the letter Y.
They both love Wednesday, but she don't love either. Really, and she makes a point in the beginning of the movie of like saying that, I'm never gonna be like you, Mom. I'm never gonna fall in love. I'm never gonna have this and that. And so,
of course, the typical teen.
Yeah, teen angst. But it's, you know, I don't want to say she loves these guys, but she definitely is attracted to them. And it shows, and throughout the season, we see her come to terms with the fact that she is attracted to somebody. And she shows it in her own way. But she also is very headstrong about justice and finding out the truth.
Vengeance.
Justice for nevermore.
It's always about vengeance.
And so love and feelings and all that takes a backseat to everything. And it plays a big role into...
The rebellion comes first.
Into everything that happens throughout the season. And it changes, or at least for me, it clouds your perception, or maybe even shines a light on your perception of these particular characters. So the main conflict that happens in this season is there is a monster that keeps killing people out in the woods, civilian, or not, I said civilian, normies, as they call them in this show, people that are not powered,
mystical
gifted,
creature,
so. In the first episode, there's a hiker that gets dropped off. He was hitchhiking and gets dropped off, and she's like, "Hey, don't go in those woods. You might not like what you find." And he's like, "Nah, I got this." And he goes and he gets wrecked. So there's this mysterious monster that the sheriff and whatnot is chasing after and trying to figure out. And so during one of Wednesday's escape plans to try and get away from Nevermore, because that's what every teenager does when they're forced to do something that they don't want to do. They try to escape it.
Yep.
She runs into this thing, and it's I don't have a picture here.
So, yep.
Yeah, it's this grotesque thing. It's messed up, man.
It's a little freaky.
So this is actually the first time that we see it. Is in this scene. It kills a kid that is trying to kill Wednesday. So it essentially saves Wednesday from the kid, but then doesn't kill her. Whole thing, whatever.
Yeah.
So this is the main conflict. And so from this point on, she is just hell-bent on figuring out what is this thing? Who is who's behind this or what,
Yeah.
and then how do we capture it or stop it,
Yeah.
right? And along the way, there's all kinds of other things that happen, and then we find out that it's a bigger and deeper story / conspiracy than we ever would have thought, right?
Yeah. Harry Potter. Yep.
Yeah, sure. So my question to you is, did you know who it was?
Yes.
Okay.
They do try to do a lot of fate and switches.
Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, this love triangle, or love Y, I should say, was very important because both of them are at one point accused of being so eventually we find out that this thing, it's called a hide, and that it transforms, and it's actually a person that can transform into this thing, similar to like a werewolf.
Jekyll and Hyde. If
Yeah.
you guys, if any of you know the whole,
That don't know
that.
that.
Oh, really?
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
Yeah. So it can transform. So now
You can find a transformer.
now she's trying to figure out who the hell it is. And then she finds out that not only does it transform, but it has a master. Like whoever it is that helps them transform the first time, they become indebted to them and imprinted, basically.
Yeah.
So there's actually two mysteries within the mystery that they need to figure out. And so we find out, or actually, I feel like it was pretty clear who it was pretty early on. In fact, like I knew it was Tyler. I'm trying to think, or how early I knew it was him. 'Cause I knew it was him for a long time. I for sure knew it was when they went to the Gates house. Like I knew it was him.
That was already
That I 100% knew.
That actually was, I think, the moment that reinforced
that
it.
confirmed that it was him.
Yeah.
Even though he tries to.
The first time for me,
trying to think.
I feel like it's episode 3.
Okay.
And it's I can't remember the exact details leading up to it, but there's a shot where it shows the monster and then it shows Tyler's face, and it was literally the eyes.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's him. And then the dad, like Tyler's dad, literally looks at a picture of Tyler, and I was like, yeah, that's his eyes.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's him. And of course it's him, because he's the only fucking normie. Like,
Yeah.
What a twist.
With that twist.
Yeah.
So I
But
think
they do a lot of bait and switching right in the last, like,
there was some
second to last
kind of
episode.
there's some kind of scene where Tyler like doesn't openly profess his love for her or liking for her, because he does do that later on, but
Yeah.
like in the beginning there's a scene of like where it's clear that he really likes her, and when I watched it, for some reason it made me think back to the initial incident at the carnival, and then I was like, what happened to Tyler? Like Tyler was supposed to, so in that original scene, Tyler was supposed to have driven her out, gotten her out of Nevermore and taken her to the bus station so she can leave. But then she goes after one of Rowan, a kid that she touched, had a vision of that he was going to die. And so she was trying to go save him, because even though she puts up this hard, cold front, she actually cares.
Of course.
So she tries to go save him. Turns out he was baiting her into so he could kill her. But then Tyler isn't around that entire time. Like, and in hindsight, it's like, oh yeah.
Well, there's many times that he's always
around,
coincidentally in the right place at the right time.
So it was really clear to me who was the hot. But I will admit that I had the handler or the master wrong. My hunch was wrong, and I will give credit where credit is due. That my better half actually had it right, and that she said from, like, if I remember correctly, she said it pretty early on. Actually, like she if I remember correctly, after we found out that it has a master, pretty sure she was like, I think it's this person.
The other normie.
Yeah. And so I was like, so my guess was that it was the therapist.
Yeah. That
and
would
it,
be.
I, it
It's
actually,
a fair. Yeah, it's a fair.
I actually
guess.
guessed it was her before they started alluding to the fact that it was her. I thought it was her pretty early on because to me it made a lot of sense that she would have the ability to do it, the ability to get somebody transformed, and then I don't know, she had blonde hair like the little girl in the picture, so I was like, all right, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually thought it was her too. So yeah, on that, it was actually good that it.
Yeah, but it wasn't her. It wasn't her, ladies and gentlemen. It was the, like you said, the other normie, the teacher, who we talked about earlier. She is actually the master of the Hyde and who helped transform him first. She is also Laurel Gates, who is the daughter of, was he the mayor? The dad? Or was he just a prominent family member or prominent person within Jericho?
Yeah, I think he was just
I don't think he was the mayor.
no. I think he was just a high status person.
Yeah, and it's all like this person. It's all interconnected because it goes back to when Wednesday's parents were in high school, and her dad killed this guy, but it really was her mom that killed him.
That I did see.
Yeah, I knew that was. I literally like during that episode, pretty much as soon as he got arrested or something, I was like, it wasn't him. It was his mom. Or his mom. Like, Chico. Yeah.
Yeah, to me, because it was just like,
it's too.
I know, like these two characters, the dad ain't doing that.
Oh,
like, I know,
yeah,
I know he's not doing that.
That makes sense.
I know that they love each other a lot, but he's not. Of course, she's gonna be the one that kills him. Like,
is that because of their characteristics kind of thing?
Yeah, like I just as a character, it fits
her better than him.
Yeah, better than him.
Okay, I mean, all right. I didn't know that. I didn't know. Is her dad? At least the gist that I get is that her dad is the softer side of the relationship, and her mom is a little harsher and.
I mean, her mom is different now. Like as older.
Yeah.
When she was younger, yeah, she was, I guess, more edgy and stuff.
Yeah.
But now, like as the parents, they just really love each other a lot. So.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew it was her. But yeah, it's all interconnected. This girl's motivation is that she's the daughter of
vengeance.
Yeah, pretty much.
Vengeance.
She's vengeance.
Yeah. She's Batman.
Batman. Yeah, as far as the overall arc of the story goes, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I thought it was really good, and it like took me for a ride. You know, like.
No, yeah, it was great.
I was learning
a lot of
about things.
A lot of characters.
Yeah, and that was actually one thing that I was realizing as I was looking for photos and stuff of this
I don't know if you realize.
There's a lot of characters.
There's a familiar face in this show. I don't know if you picked up on it.
Who?
Hold on, let me look up her original.
Familiar face. I don't know.
It's when they go to Pilgrim World.
Oh, I'm not. I don't know.
Hold on. Okay, yeah.
Are you talking about the
So
Pilgrim lady?
Huh?
You're talking about the Pilgrim lady?
Not the one that like, oh, you're gonna go work and
Yeah.
make fudge or whatever. It's another like shop person that they go into, and it's Queen Disa.
Oh, you're
From
talking
Rings of
about.
Power.
Oh, yes. Very weird. She was a weirdie, but yeah, Queen Disa from Rings of Power.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, you're 100% right. She is a very familiar face, and I thought the same thing when I watched it, but I forgot I guess because that scene was just kind of threw that out of my brain.
Yeah. It was a real short.
Outside of that particular scene was just
Yeah, it's real minor.
Oh. Sorry, I lost my train of thought about what I was talking about before. What was I talking about?
I gotta say, I love like ever the all of the Adams Family characters are done so well in this show. Like I loved seeing the parents because they have both of them did really well. Wednesday
Yeah.
is great. Brothers, fine. Like he does his job and he's like good and stuff. But he's just not a major character. But when Uncle Fester comes in, it was so great.
So is that's another question I had. Is Uncle Fester something from before? Like
Yeah, he's another
pre-established character.
returning character. So is Lurch to
Yeah, I know
Buller-
Lurch is the
Buller,
driver,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
And then Thing, of course. But I love the actor that plays Uncle Fester. He's super funny.
And his episode was great.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good. And it was a nice break, I guess. Like one of the themes that I felt during the series was that Wednesday was slowly shedding her like persona of being this super dark, edgy girl, and like as she's spent all this time around all these other kids her age and learning to socialize and do all this stuff, she's still very headstrong, but she's very slowly starting to shed that persona and kind of develop and whatnot. And then Uncle Fester comes in halfway through and kind of like, to me it felt like he was kind of like re-grounding her and re-bringing her back down to like who she actually is, and then reinforcing that she's different, she's not like everybody else.
Yeah, a little bit. He kind of gives her like the, I guess, realization of it. Because it's like, oh wow, like you're starting to remind me of your mother now. And it's like, because she talks about like all the things that she's been doing and stuff, and it's like, yeah, it's great. Like, I'm glad to hear it. And it's good to see you.
Yeah. His entrance was really cool too.
Yeah. He's super funny.
I did not, like, everybody else was probably like, oh, Uncle Fester, awesome. But I thought she was about to like get freaking
killed.
Yeah. I was like, she's about to die.
Yeah.
Yeah. As far as other characters go, we do have the headmaster
Weems.
Principal Weems, who I don't think you know who this is, but she is actually a really big actress from Game of Thrones. She's I'm probably getting this completely wrong, but I think she's the Queen of Tarth. That's probably completely wrong, but she's a pretty big character in Game of Thrones, and she's also was that right? Queen of Tarth?
Well, it just says for portraying Brienne of Tarth.
Oh, Brienne of Tarth. So it's not the Queen of Tarth. She's just Brienne of Tarth, I guess.
She's also Captain Phasma.
Yeah, I did know that she was Captain Phasma, but you don't ever see her face. But she's also very big as well. Like, she's a large woman.
Yeah.
And that's why she was casted in Game of Thrones, because she's like in Game of Thrones, she's some like
super tall.
She's a like warrior / enforcer person. And I actually really liked her as the headmistress. You mentioned that you had another person that you thought would have been pretty good as well, but I actually really liked her as the.
No, she did really well. Yeah, she did a good job. She reminded me of another person, so I was like, oh, it would have been cool to see that other person. I can't remember her name now. Hannah Waddingham or something.
Yeah, Hannah Waddingham.
From Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso.
But yeah, she plays it really well the whole time too. I didn't really remember, like, I didn't watch Game of Thrones or anything.
Right.
And from all the other things that she's done, she never comes off as being
feminine and
large.
Oh.
So in this show, I was like, bro, she's tall as fuck.
Yeah.
I'm like, is she?
So
is everybody that
wondering
short?
if they were
like,
if they were just using camera angles and stuff to make her look that way, or if she actually is?
Well, I just figured that she had to be from the way, because I was like, she'd be standing next to the mayor. I'm like,
she's like
bro, you're either short as hell or she is tall.
Yeah, she's.
And I was like, you look very tall.
She is.
So, which I just didn't know. So,
another very nitpicky thing about the story and whatnot is I actually was very not very, but I was a little sad about her death, and not in the fact that she died, because
It's a stupid.
I mean it's sad, but it's just it was a very
stupid
underwhelming death that I was like, really, like you're supposed to be the headmistress of this crazy school that has all these kids in it that are insane.
So
and
if you think about it, like Harry Potter, it would be stupid. Right?
Yeah.
Like this is like imagine Dumbledore falling for like a stupid prank death.
Right.
This is the equivalent of that, and it's just stupid.
Yeah.
It is admittedly
bummer.
it's stupid because I was like, because the setup too was like, haha, we got you.
Yeah.
I was like, what? I was just sitting there like, it doesn't really matter, but it's like, well, why didn't you just like, oh, dodge, like
or do
move?
anything.
You just stood there and like, oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was dumb.
I was bummed because I would have liked to see her just maybe not win the engagement, but just do something to show that she is deserving of being the leader of this outcast school. You know, I don't know what she could have done.
I mean, that's why I think it's. I agree, but it's because I'm, like I said, I'm thinking of this like Harry Potter, and so to be the headmaster, you have to be powerful.
Right.
This is just a school,
Sure.
with monsters and creatures and stuff. So like that's not necessarily. You just got to be
Qualified.
a qualified like teacher.
Just gotta go to college.
Yeah, you just go to school. Like it's not. So it's hard because it's like a mix of the two. It's like I don't really know how serious I should take this.
Yeah, that's fair, and it serves the story, right? Her death serves the story, so I get it. I was a little bummed.
Yeah, I agree.
But again, it's nitpicky. So
another nitpick I have was the inconsistency in this show with portrayal of violence and outcomes of said violence. So every single time this monster is shown attacking people, it's like, and you just see blood like flying everywhere. You look at the bodies and it's like 3 little claws.
Yeah.
Every single time. So it's consistent, but it doesn't make sense.
It's inconsistently consistent.
Yeah.
No,
they portray it as being very violent. This is a large monster clawing, and like it looks like it's literally just shredding these bodies.
Right.
But then when you see the bodies in the end, they're just like
in the beginning, the first guy, the hiker that dies, he was just absolutely wrecked. Like they only found a piece of the body,
body parts. And it looks nothing like that throughout the rest of the show.
Right. The rest of the show, it actually like regressively gets less and less.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense
until the final, the one of the last victims, which is where is he? I swear I saved the picture. You son of a gun. Well, the beekeeper friend, though.
Eugene.
Yeah, who is like her only friend essentially. I swear I saved the picture. And he attacks him, but he survives. He's the only survivor of the attack. But there's really like no reason why he should have survived. You know, like.
Yeah.
They know, like it's not like somebody caught the monster in the act of killing him. Like,
even when Tyler fakes his attack, it's still the same bullshit. Like, because he's like, guys, run! Oh no!
Right, and if you think about it, because at that time I knew he was a monster. It's like, of course he would have just cut himself. But if you think about it within the confines of the,
and he's like, they're like looking through the spooky house, and he's like, guys, it's here, run! And I was like, guys, it's here, run! Oh no!
Yeah.
And he's like sitting there, and they come back, and he's like, oh, I got attacked, bro.
If you think about it within the confines of the story, though, why would he have survived? Like, if he wasn't the monster and the monster really was there and he was warning them and then he got into a scuffle with him.
Well, even
Why would he have
even the
survived?
homeless guy that dies,
Yeah.
his wounds were still the same.
Right, it was just
he
kind of
died from
gutted
3 little
and-
like slashes.
Yeah.
Well, because when they show it, it looks like he's getting dismembered.
Yeah.
But when you see his body, it's just 3 slashes.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what? What?
Okay. Yeah, sure. I agree with you, and
And this creature, like, it looks creepy because of the eyes mostly, but
Yeah.
it's just like, whoa. And it looks kind of scary
nuts,
stuff.
dude.
Uh,
I think
but the
it's nuts.
scariest thing in the show, bro, is that moment when like they're at the school and they're having the parents' day, and it, like just glances. She like looks off to the side and sees like I don't even know what the fuck they are, but they're just like these parents that look at the camera and they have no face. And it
Oh
is
yeah.
terrifying.
Oh, you actually see one of a kid of version of it in the beginning of the show when she's getting introduced, like, and when
like she's like explaining the
Enid is
clicks.
like, yeah, like, hey, this is this and this. She never even mentions what they are or who they are.
Yeah.
But you see them like in the background. But yeah, those things were terrifying.
Like that is like some creepy pasta.
Yeah.
Like actually scary. Like there is a mask that's kind of like this that I saw in the store.
It
one
reminds
time.
me of in Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, or no, the one with freaking Davy Jones
Yeah,
when
Dead
he
Man's Chest.
sucks off or when the Kraken sucks off the dude's face. Remember that?
No.
It's like midway through the movie when the broken ship, and then what's his face? Will has to go on board to talk to Davy Jones and try
I
and
do remember that.
negotiate for. So then there's other sailors on the boat, and when Davy Jones' men take the boat, they suck off one of the dude's face.
I don't remember that though.
Oh, all right. It looks the same. It's
Yeah.
like a swirling just skin and nothing there.
Well, in this show, it's literally just
Yeah.
if you can just imagine having no
Just skin.
features
Yeah.
on your face, like literally just nothing, and it's like
It was creepy.
Slenderman, but as skin.
Yeah, it was creepy.
Yeah, it's very creepy. That was the scariest thing of the show. I was like, whoa, what the fuck?
I got jump scared a couple times.
But I think like honestly, a lot of the scenes and like costume design and everything was so good in this show.
It was.
Like the effects too look really good. Sometimes it's a little weird, but
Well, there was some slightly less competent CGI,
yeah.
but it's
Well,
also a
someti- like,
Netflix original. It's not a big
Yeah.
studio film.
but like even
so-
you remember when they like burned the lawn?
Yeah.
I was like, bro, you had like perfect fucking burn marks.
yeah,
Like it was
Doesn't work like
clean,
that.
like unnaturally clean. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know what you're using, but that's very precise.
doesn't work like,
like
that.
fire doesn't do that.
You would probably get those burn marks initially, but like,
But
the
it
fire's
would
gonna
have like
spread.
kept going, yeah. So
Yeah.
it would look messy.
Yeah.
Sure, you would still see the message, but like
Initially,
it was,
you would
like,
see the message, but
very
eventually, it would start just.
clean. Yeah. Gotta say the music too, super good in the show.
Oh, it was great. Score was great.
Man, when Wednesday, every time she plays her cello, dude, it's so good.
That scene of her playing
That
her
episode
cello.
at the very end when she like sets the Joseph Crackstone statue on fire. And
Oh,
she's just
yeah.
like going off. That
While
was
everybody's
so
freaking
good.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. I loved all that stuff, which is weird for me to say because I don't like I never would have really, and like I'm more or less proud of myself, well, from watching this series because like I don't know, for you it's nothing, like not scary at all, but there were a few times where like things were a little spooky, a little freaky, but I stayed
like what?
strong, man.
Which
Just
parts?
like, all right, you gotta try and imagine that you're watching this.
No,
from
no,
the
I just want to know which parts, like,
Uh,
literally what happened.
The house, when they were exploring the Gates house was
Okay.
pretty. Like in the beginning, it was pretty
Like
spooky.
just while they were exploring it, or
Yeah,
like something
yeah.
specific.
No, it was just like the ambiance,
yeah,
right?
okay,
Like
okay.
the ambiance, you're like, okay, this is obviously meant to be a little spooky, and I can kind of feel it.
Yeah.
And normally at that point is like when I would start, doing the whole like hand on the forehead,
Yeah,
getting
like-
ready, like kind of thing. But I'm proud to say that I didn't. I was like, nah, I'm gonna.
I thought
I'm
that
gonna
scene was
stay
funny to me because
strong.
it's like, of course, Enid is like the most scared person there,
Yeah.
right? but she should be the least afraid. You're the werewolf,
Well,
dude. What's gonna
She
hurt
hadn't
you?
wolf out yet, though.
I know, but still, like, so she hasn't wolfed out, but she's a werewolf.
She's still
so
strong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's strong. She still has claws, even though it's just her.
They're funny.
Their
They're
nails.
funny to me.
Yeah, it is funny. But she does get a awesome fight scene in the end.
The funniest part about her nails, I don't even know if we can actually talk about this, but the funny part about her nails is when she's kissing her boyfriend and they just, it's just like,
whoa, 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 whoa.
hey, chill out, yo.
Yeah, like, I'm getting a little excited.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you gonna wolf out on me?
Yeah.
But yeah, she gets a cool fight scene in the end.
Yeah.
Though,
I didn't get the stoners reference until he actually stoned
really?
himself. Yeah, I didn't.
Oh.
I didn't get it. And it's probably just because I'm just not connected to this world like you are. I didn't realize that she was talking about the stoners are Medusa heads.
Medusa. Yeah.
I just didn't get it. And then honestly, I don't even think I realized that he had snakes. Because in that first scene, there's a snake that peeks out from his hat. But I just thought he was weird and had a snake in his hat for some reason.
Yeah, that was just a thing.
Yeah, I just thought it was a thing.
Like, oh, that's
and then
normal.
I didn't realize that he was a Medusa head until the shower scene. I was like, oh, that's what they meant by stoners. Yeah. That was funny.
Yeah, no, that was actually, I actually had a nitpick about that because it's one of those things where it's like it's intentional but stupid that a character doesn't explain to another character. Like, you know, the whole
he stood her
like
up kind of thing.
Yeah, got stood up, but he not really. He just turned to stuff.
Yeah.
Why would you not explain?
Right.
Like, I know he's like, oh, I thought
was
I was embarrassed.
embarrassed.
Yeah, but that's kind of a important thing to tell somebody. Like,
especially if you feel about her the way that he felt. Like, if you didn't actually like the girl and you accidentally did that, and I could see you just playing off, but they end up like
you
being.
You knew that you were trying to have a date with her, and so your embarrassment should like undermine your importance for your feelings for her.
Yeah, I agree. I did actually. Now that I think about it, I did have a problem with that. That after it happened, and we see her get frustrated about the fact that. We see her behind the car and she's like waiting and then she freaks out. Felt bad for her. And then I was like, all right, well, hopefully she is accepting of his apology and understands. But then like we get the whole Raven scene, like the dance and everything. And like, there's no explanation. And they actually don't ever tell us that he never told her anything either. They just glance over it. Like they just don't even mention it until the end, where she's like, "How come you never, did this?" And then he's like, "Oh yeah, my bad."
Yeah.
So
it's stupid.
It is stupid. They should have,
especially because, unlike Harry Potter, even though a lot of these characters, I could literally be like, "Oh yeah, like Eugene is Neville Longbottom, except not trash like Neville Longbottom," but he does the exact same thing where he's garbage until the very end and has his heroic scene in the final movie. Right. He does that in the final episode. So he does the exact same thing. The whole dance thing, the Raven Goblet of Fire once again with the whole ball thing. She literally has a Hermione moment when she comes in the dress and does the walk down the stairs. And Tyler's like, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful." And literally. And then like there's the friend on the side that's basically like Ronald Weasley.
So are you accusing Wednesday from taking liberties of Harry Potter and reforming them into this story?
What do you mean by accusing?
Or okay, let me rephrase the question. Does it like bother you, or is it like a problem? Does it take away from the story?
In the beginning, it's funny to me because I enjoy it so much. Not that I didn't enjoy it in Harry Potter, but it's seeing another reiteration, I guess, of it, and it still works.
Okay,
and it's in different ways. Like sometimes there's like huge similarities, like I said, but other times it's obviously very different.
Right.
But it still works just as well as it does in Harry Potter.
Okay.
At the end of the dance, this has got to be intentional. The dance as well, very cool. I don't know if it was I feel like it's got to be intentional. Clear reference to Carrie.
Oh
with
yeah,
the whole blood.
the blood out of the
Yeah, which is awesome.
yeah. Her dancing was dope.
Oh yeah, her dance too. That's what I
awesome.
forgot. She did that 100% freestyle.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, and it was
Oh.
great.
Oh,
Like-
so Tyler's reaction is authentic. Then.
Yeah, like she literally made that up on the spot,
That's awesome.
and it was really well done. And
Yeah. It
to me,
fit
it fits
perfectly.
Yeah, perfect.
It's exactly what I'd expect from somebody like that dancing.
No, the most random,
just-
like mix of like different thing, like perfect.
But somehow kind of
But
sort of
yeah, it
works
still
and like
works.
looks like and then also on the other hand, I definitely couldn't do that if I
No,
wanted to.
absolutely
I
not.
would look like an idiot trying to do that.
Yeah, I would make that look really
Yeah.
bad, but she made it look good, and it was great.
She did. All right. So I think it's really clear that we both really enjoyed this series, and that it's really solid. It was really well done, really well executed. Jenna Ortega absolutely smashes the role.
Yeah,
But I want to talk about the end because this does the same thing that Prey did. Well, not exactly, but what I mean is that it was so good the whole season. And then the final episode, even like the last, maybe I could probably even say even just the last 20 minutes of the final episode was just, I just didn't, it felt like a escalation of what was possible in the world to a place where I just didn't think it fit. I'm talking about the fact that on one thing is that that this chick successfully resurrected Joseph Cragstone, and that's a thing. So like I don't know. Again, this is coming from somebody that has no knowledge about the Addams Family world at all. So I don't know. Is there resurrection elsewhere in the family or in the stories? Like bringing people back from the dead?
Yeah, it's not like unusual for like, or even like zombies and undead kind of.
Okay, all right. Well,
that's still like the same like kind of
yeah.
thing.
I don't think it's yeah. I don't think it's not the same thing. I don't know. I felt like I had a pretty good idea of what the rules or like what was possible in this universe, and then they threw in the resurrection thing, and I was kind of taken aback a little bit. I was like, oh, all right, I guess we're going all the way down this road, and so that was one thing. But I feel better about it knowing that it's not an uncommon thing within the world of the Addams Family. The bigger problem I had was Joseph Cragstone himself coming back.
He's a problem.
Because they make it very, very clear that Joseph Cragstone is this normie that has a vendetta against outcasts and wants to rid the world of them because they're impure and bad or whatever, blah, 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 blah. But when he comes back, he's basically an outcast himself.
Yeah,
he's got these powers.
I do have a huge problem with him.
He's
as a
got
character.
this staff with this stone that is like.
What is funny to me because he looks like
Gandalf to me.
It looks like Leprechaun. Like you ever? Yeah, you probably haven't watched it, but the horror movie Leprechaun.
Oh no, I didn't.
Where the guy from Willow actually plays as the Leprechaun. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Great actor.
Yeah.
His face, like it's all like zombified and looks like that,
but
and it's
fat
like,
as well.
Yeah, and it's like you're a fucking wizard, bro.
Yeah,
what is going on? That's what I had. I did have a problem with that too. I didn't like it. The resurrection didn't bother me. It was the fact that he was just literally a wizard.
Powered.
Like I was like, what? That's completely against what you were like.
They're supposed to be.
Yeah, it's like
I just don't. I didn't agree with it. At all, really. Like I think it really dropped the ball on the whole thing, and then the staff itself as well was like, what? Like,
well, yeah, I was like,
where do you get this? What the fuck is this?
Yeah, I thought it was just like walking cane before.
Yeah.
Like,
back in the visions that she has, it was just a stick. There's no green thing at the top.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden he has this green thing that can like sound wave outcasts down because apparently outcasts have like a different frequency or something that they were
shall not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
It was actually a pretty big bummer for me, because I was like excited because I'm watching this series. I really like everything that's going on, everything that they're doing, and then when they do the resurrection thing, I was like, all right, that's a little far, I think, but I'm fine. And then I was like, all right, I'm excited to see who this big bad enemy is going to be and what it's going to do. And I know that from everything that they've said throughout this episode, because they say it like multiple times throughout the series, that this dude is supposed to hate anybody that has any, like, not just a normal person. Yeah. And he comes out like way more crazy than half of the people in Nevermore.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
So I didn't like it at all. And I didn't like I don't know if it was just born out of the fact that I didn't like him, but just the way that his like series of scenes went, it was just like.
What do you mean?
Like he seemed so like I don't know what to compare him to, but he's just walking around like hunched over, like, oh, I'm gonna burn everybody.
Yeah, I mean, he's very, let's just be honest, he's racist.
He's racist as hell.
Like, he just seems like a racist person going around, like, I'm gonna burn you all to hell. And I actually thought it was funny. Like, I hated the fact that he's powerful.
Yeah.
But it was funny because he's just like, I can't take him seriously. And then, I did like the scene where she's like trying to like talk to him and he's like, shut up. I don't want to hear you. And then she's like, never meet your heroes.
Yeah, you're right.
You're damn right. You never meet your heroes.
Yeah. I don't know. I had a big problem and it really kind of soured then that final for me. The only saving grace that just keeps this series alive for me is everything else that went on during that final battle scene outside of him.
Once
everything. Yeah. Well, just everything like during and around him, everything that just didn't involve him was good to me.
I thought it was. I mean, I agree. I hated him like being super powerful, but I actually liked Bianca like stepping in and helping.
I liked
Wednesday,
all of that,
and then she finally stabs him. He poofs, and then then it gets much better because it goes back to her, and then we get even
just like outside of like concurrently happening with that, we get Tyler attacks Wednesday, right?
Yeah,
and then she gets saved by Enid because Enid finally wolfs out
and super cool
kicks
werewolf, and it's funny because she still has her pinky.
Yeah, it's great. I think it's great.
It's her. That it's great, and she finally she actually beats the crap out of Tyler.
She messes. I mean, she takes some damage herself.
Yeah, she does. I mean, she kind of like loses in the end, but she actually fights him pretty well for a long time, and then
she wins. Because she kicks him through the tree. Oh, well, actually, she probably wouldn't. She probably wouldn't have won if his dad didn't shoot him.
Yeah, the dad showed up and he like. There was a moment of Tyler was gonna like get the upper hand, and the dad's like, "Tyler, is that you?" And he shoots like one bullet.
Yeah. And it gives Enid just enough time to like loop around and just kick him through a tree,
and then run.
Then run away. Yeah.
And then shortly after that, we get the confrontation of Wednesday and Marilyn Thornhill. And then we get the super heroic scene with Eugene. Finally, I was waiting for it because I was literally like sitting there. I'm like, what does Eugene do? Because they never explain it. They don't.
They never show why.
I know he's missing for a long time because he gets in the hospital. But
they also never explain why he's in Nevermore.
Yeah. In the beginning, they do that for a lot of characters. Like, they don't initially
tell you what they are.
Yeah. Aside from Enid sitting there and being like, oh, that's the werewolves, that's the Gory, blah, blah, blah. All right. So, they never, whenever characters are individually introduced, they don't explicitly say, like, what they are or what they do. Because it'd be kind of weird if you're just like, hey, I'm a vampire. Or I'm a Gorgon. Don't look at my hair. Like, But
no, you're right. But it was cool to see him, like, because he
got his moment.
The bees.
Yeah, I liked it. Makes sense. He's a Hummer.
Yeah,
Hummers stick together. It's great.
Yeah. It was a good moment. But it wraps up neatly. I like
It does.
to.
And it leaves it open for
Right.
future.
They somehow are able to wrap up the story neatly that if we never got anything again, there wouldn't be any like glaring questions of like, well, what happens with this? What happens with that?
Yeah.
But
it's like satisfying enough,
Yeah.
but still
there definitely could
leaves
be
the
more.
possibility.
And there should be more. 100%.
Yeah,
Should be more. Give us more. Just give us more. All right. So
Like I said, I know it can been compared to Harry Potter so much, but because it's like that, you have so much things you can do. I mean, look how many movies there's been for Harry Potter.
Right.
And they're still going. And they're thinking about rebooting it.
Right. Yeah. I really enjoyed this show, and I enjoyed it way, 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 way more than I would have ever thought I would have, which was really interesting.
Which I think is so good. That just speaks to how good this show is because it introduces more viewers.
Yeah, it I guess that is a good mark of a show that people that don't normally like this kind of thing actually enjoy it, but it still also pleases people that are fans of the category. So
not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, so it's a very thin line to walk.
Everybody hates everything now.
Yeah. Yeah. What is the general reception to this show? I know it's very heavily watched, but I don't know. Like, I'm not sure if there's like Rotten Tomatoes or just any. I'm not really sure what the critic reviews are.
So overall, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good.
So what is Rotten
IMDb
Tomatoes?
is 8.5. Rotten Tomatoes, the critics is 71, but audience is 88.
Yeah, that sounds about right for what I would expect.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I honestly like. I purposely try to avoid like looking.
I know you do.
I feel like for the most part, I've only seen positive things about this show.
I think for this kind of show, it's important to look at those kinds of things because it does help. What is it? I don't want to say justify, but just reinforce how good it is. Because if the people that enjoy this genre of film or of cinema really like it, it only goes so far. You know, like. Maybe you're biased, maybe this or that, or whatever. But if you can actually pull people from outside of your genre and please people that are inside your genre, like that's
the ultimate
big
goal.
Yeah,
like that's what everybody strives for.
Right, but it's
how
not.
You grow.
It's not achieved very very often, and I think this did it. I think I don't even know who the director or producers are, but whoever they did,
I think there's multiple.
They did it. You guys did a good job. Jenna Ortega, hats off to you.
Yeah, because I think they do the thing where they have like different directors per episode.
Yeah. If they did that, that's even more impressive to me because
it still felt very...
I didn't feel like there's any...
I'm pretty sure it was multiple directors.
I didn't really feel like there was any change in overall feel to the show.
Jesus.
Okay. All right. We just did that for nothing. But yeah, so I'm even more impressed if there's multiple directors.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I enjoyed the show a lot. I'm excited for more if they do.
I am too. Please give us more on Netflix. Please just give us more. Ladies and gentlemen, what did you guys think of Wednesday? It is the most watched American or English speaking TV show or anything on Netflix. So pretty sure most of the people that are watching this have seen it already. So what did you guys think? Are you guys excited for more? If so, let's start a petition right now.
Just want to say, Netflix, you've been doing very good recently.
Yeah, you've been putting out some decent stuff, man. Few droppers, but most.
Yeah, I mean, there's like the usual like
gray man
garbage that people just eat all day because it's like cake show. Yeah, some of them are great, and then some of them are like, but there's some new stuff that's been coming out.
Who would have thought that Netflix would have been this? Do you remember the days of Netflix being you order DVDs and then you watch it and you put it back inside the sleeve and then you send it back and you don't get another one until you send that one back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that because I remember we did the one DVD at a time for a long time because there's like different tiers of the plans, right? And the cheapest one was you order one, and then when that one gets, or when you send that one back, then they'll send you the next one, right? Yeah. And then I remember there was like a point in time where my dad decided that he wanted to upgrade to the next tier where you could have multiple at one time.
Spender.
And it was like, I was like, oh, Dad, all right, let's go. This is dope. We couldn't have more than one at a time? Sweet.
Yeah, this is back to the days of like Blockbuster.
Blockbuster. Yeah, I loved Blockbuster.
Yeah, I miss Blockbuster.
I say without Blockbuster, I would have never known what the Power Rangers were.
Speaking of, rest in peace, man. It's another time I'm like, damn it, I could have got a picture and an autograph with you when I went to Comic-Con and I didn't.
You could have?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Dude, I like when I was stationed in Texas and then Comic-Con, man, I was like, because I went there and I was like, they had the Green Ranger, the guy that played Penguin for Gotham. Mark Hamill was there.
What? I don't remember you telling me this.
How do I not remember his name?
Who?
Marvel.
RDJ? Chris Evans? Thor? Chris Hemsworth?
Co-creator of Marvel.
Oh,
I don't know.
Feige? No, not Feige.
No. Not MCU. Like Marvel.
Oh, Marvel. Stan Lee.
Stan Lee was there as well. He had his own section. It was literally the Stan Lee zone. He had like 50 security guards, and like I would have had to wait for like 6 hours to get his on, and it would have cost like $700. So I was like, no thanks. And I was like, well, I could get Mark Hamill's for like $400, but I still don't want to wait 3 hours for that. And then the Green Ranger was actually less, and it was probably like 2 hours, but I should have got his too.
Was it really? Is it really cool. That expensive for signatures? For big name people?
Yeah.
What?
Like there was a lot of people, but those were like some of the main ones. I was like, oh shit, I should get your stuff. Like, but I was like, oh, I don't have that much money. I don't want to wait that long, and I wanted to like go around and do a whole bunch of other stuff too. And now that they're all like slowly fading, I'm kind of sad I did.
Yeah, the only person still alive that you had a chance was Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going to be sad when that happens too.
Yeah, I'll be very sad. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let us know what you guys thought of Wednesday, the series on Netflix. Please like, subscribe, comment, share with a friend. Catch us on social media, Any Kind Media Cast on Instagram and Twitter. Appreciate you guys. Catch you in the next one.